Hi folks, I'm sitting in my wife's desk where she does some artwork, and these are a few artworks that she has done, and that is her YouTube channel. But why I'm making this video is actually showing how I'm using this particular display and controlling this display using Home Assistant. If you have seen my previous video, you probably have seen this. I've used this to show various things. So all this is made up of is an ESP8266 connected to Wi-Fi and a dot matrix display. So the beauty is you can go to Home Assistant, change this to and there you go. So whatever is your message, it comes up here. You can vary the brightness. It changes the brightness on the display here. You can. It also has a photoresistor over here, and the ADC value is reported as the brightness as well. So basically, you can adjust the intensity of this particular display based on ADC if you want. But here, I have much finer control. So basically, that is what I'm doing here. So I'll just show you what is inside. So here, I'm just giving it a 5-volt supply over here. So this is just a veneer paper. It's actually really thick paper that has a print of wooden kind of material on it. And yeah, you can see this is the ESP8266 that is connected to two dot matrix display. And the ADC is over here that is connected to the ADC port of the ESP8266. This is very simple, just two things. So the software, maybe a year ago, I would have written it myself, but this is running ESPHome. So I'll just show you what are the settings on ESPHome and how I actually set this up. This is the ESPHome configuration for the veneer display. So this is just the standard platform for ESP8266. Define the board. In my case, it's a D1 Mini. Put your Wi-Fi credentials, create an access point in case the Wi-Fi fails. You can create a web port. You can have a captive portal, and you can have loggers. And so these are just standard things that you can have. So what I set up for putting up the display is using the bitbang SPI interface. In that case, you define the clock pin and the MOSI pin. In my case, it's D5 and D7. You can use any of the pins for ESP8266. And this is the display component. So we have the MAX7219 digit display. And the only pin that you have to define for this is CS. So this whole display runs using these two, CLK and the MOSI pin and the CS pin. Those are the three things that actually send data. In my case, I have 8 chips. That's why my number of chips is 8. I start with the intensity of 3, just in case there is no intensity from Home Assistant from the beginning. You can define the scroll speed and also the update interval. So if you have some kind of interference with your video that you take in your phone, then you can go and update these intervals. That is the scroll speed and the update speed. And I'm displaying the text over here. So let's just jump over there. So if you go over here, I'm just creating an HA text over here, which is actually from Home Assistant. And I'll show you how I set it up. And this is just an input text. And also, I also set up the brightness as well from Home Assistant. So you just put in input number dot whatever name you want to give in Home Assistant. So it takes in those values, set the intensity, sets the text, and then it starts scrolling left. That is, it starts on the right, goes to the left. So the font is something that you want to copy and paste into this particular folder. And because I'm using certain glyphs, that is, I want star and, certain special characters. So I go and define every glyph that is possible for this font, so that this font, it can read what this particular glyph is from this font and actually display it correctly on the dot matrix display. And it also does some Wi-Fi info for Home Assistant. And here you can see the ADC. ESP8266 only has one ADC input. So in this case, it takes A0. and updates every 60 seconds. And because this is then multiplied by 3.3 to get actually a good ADC voltage. And then from there, I scale it up from 0 to 15 because the intensity of the dot matrix display varies from 0 to 15. So that is why I have it here. So the 0 value is 0 and 3.3 corresponds to 15. So this way I can actually do an automated display that is in the IT.intensity for the dot matrix display. You can go and change this as well. Instead of taking the input from Home Assistant, it can automatically update from the ADC value that's up here. So I'll just show you how you set up these two values, that is how to set up the input text and the input number. So go to configuration in Home Assistant, click on helpers, and then click on this plus thing. And there you can go and create a text. You can create whatever name. In this case, you just create some kind of name over here. So let's just do test. So it's a text. And you just say create. So you see over here, so it says input text.test, and you can then take in this value and put it in there. The same thing that you do even for input numbers. You click on number. In my case, you want to set it from 0 to 15. So this number should be 15, and this will be your brightness. So there you go. So that's it. That's how simple this is to actually create a display that is controlled using Home Assistant. You can go change it. You can create automations that can actually fill this text that is in here. So it is certain time of the day. It can go and fill in this text in your Home Assistant, and the display will keep on updating based on what input is put into that input number or input text. Yeah, that's how you can have some kind of informative display shown on your screen. So go ahead and try it out and let me know if you have any issues. I'll leave the links for everything down below in the video. Go ahead and try it out. Bye.